A legacy forged in the crucible of conflict, Trump and the Gaza-Israel ceasefire. The Gaza-Israel conflict is a wound on the global conscience, a testament to the human cost of unresolved political and territorial disputes. For decades, the cycle of violence has flared and subsided, leaving behind a trail of shattered lives and broken dreams. In January 2025, amidst the rubble and despair, a glimmer of hope emerged. A ceasefire, brokered with the unconventional involvement of former U.S. President Donald Trump, brought a fragile peace to the region. This essay will delve into the complexities of this ceasefire, Trump's role in its fruition, and its potential implications for the future of the Middle East. The roots of the Gaza-Israel conflict run deep, entangled in claims of historical ownership, religious significance, and national identity. The region has witnessed numerous wars, intifadas, and targeted killings, each cycle deepening the chasm of mistrust and animosity. The recent conflict, culminating in the 2025 ceasefire, was no different. Thousands of lives were lost, infrastructure decimated, and a humanitarian crisis unfolded. It was against this backdrop of devastation and despair that Trump, despite no longer being in office, stepped onto the world stage once more. Trump's entry into the fray was unexpected, yet not entirely surprising. Known for his unconventional approach to diplomacy and his proclivity for personal involvement in international affairs, Trump had, during his presidency, made the Israeli-Palestinian conflict a focal point of his foreign policy. He had orchestrated the Abraham Accords, normalizing relations between Israel and several Arab states, a move lauded by some as a breakthrough and criticized by others as a betrayal of Palestinian aspirations. With the 2025 ceasefire, Trump sought to build upon this legacy, positioning himself as a peacemaker, a deal-maker capable of bridging divides that had confounded diplomats for generations. The world watched with bated breath as Trump, through his envoy Steve Witkoff, engaged in shuttle diplomacy, meeting with Israeli and Palestinian leaders, urging them to lay down their arms and embrace dialogue. The stakes were high, the pressure immense, but Trump, seemingly energized by the challenge, remained undeterred. The success or failure of this endeavor would reverberate far beyond the borders of Gaza and Israel, impacting perceptions of Trump's legacy, the future of the Middle East, and the credibility of international diplomacy itself. From the outset of his foray into the political arena, Donald Trump presented himself as a master negotiator, a man who could close deals where others had faltered. His campaign rhetoric was replete with promises to bring peace to the Middle East, to solve the seemingly intractable Israeli-Palestinian conflict. While some dismissed these pronouncements as mere bluster, part of the Trumpian penchant for hyperbole, others clung to the hope that he, with his unorthodox methods and disdain for diplomatic niceties, might achieve what had eluded seasoned diplomats for decades. Trump's initial statements regarding the Gaza-Israel conflict were characteristically bold and direct. He condemned the violence on both sides, calling for an immediate ceasefire and a return to the negotiating table. However, unlike his predecessors, Trump's rhetoric was often laced with implicit threats, particularly directed towards Hamas, the militant group controlling Gaza. He warned of dire consequences should they refuse to cease hostilities, hinting at a willingness to use American military might if necessary. This approach, while controversial, resonated with some in Israel who had grown frustrated with what they perceived as the international community's leniency towards Hamas. Yet, Trump's pronouncements were not limited to threats and ultimatums. He also spoke of his desire to broker a lasting peace deal, one that addressed the root causes of the conflict. He envisioned a two-state solution, with an independent Palestinian state alongside a secure Israel. He pledged to use his business acumen and deal-making prowess to bring the two sides together, to forge an agreement that would satisfy both Israeli security concerns and Palestinian aspirations for self-determination. Whether these pronouncements were driven by genuine conviction or political expediency remains a subject of debate. However, one thing was certain. Trump's involvement injected a new dynamic into the long-stalled peace process. His unconventional methods, his willingness to break with diplomatic protocol, and his unpredictability kept both sides guessing, creating both hope and trepidation in equal measure. The world watched as Trump, the self-proclaimed deal-maker-in-chief, sought to apply his skills to one of the most complex and intractable conflicts on the planet, the outcome of which would have profound implications for the region and beyond. The Architect and the Agreement, Witkoff's Unconventional Diplomacy. Section 4. A World Reacts International Response to the Gaza-Israel Ceasefire. Section 5. A Fragile Hope, Reflections on the Ceasefire and the Future of Peace.